Imagine a world with no hunger, no predators, no disease, everything provided. That sounds like paradise. But in 1968, when ethologist John Calhoun built exactly that for a colony of mice, the result was not paradise. It was total extinction. Every single mouse died, not from starvation or danger, but from the collapse of their own society. Today I want to show you what happened inside Universe 25 and what it still teaches us about crowding, design, and human behavior. Let's meet the man behind the experiment. John B. Calhoun was an ethologist at the National Institute of Mental Health. In July 1968, he introduced just 8 mice, 4 males and 4 females, into a carefully built enclosure called Universe 25. It had unlimited food, clean water, and total protection from predators and disease. By every physical measure, it was a perfect world. And that is exactly what makes what happened next so unsettling. At first, the colony thrived. The mice doubled their numbers roughly every 55 days, an explosive rate. By day 315, the population had already passed 600. It kept climbing until it peaked at 2,200 mice. Here's the twist. The habitat was actually built to hold 4,000, so they never even ran out of space. Yet that peak was the high water mark, because from there, everything fell apart. Now we reach the heart of the experiment. Calhoun gave this phenomenon a name, the behavioral sink. The idea is that when a population gets too dense and too comfortable, normal social behavior breaks down. It is not starvation that destroys the colony, it is the unraveling of their social order. Let me walk you through exactly how that collapse unfolded, stage by stage. Calhoun documented a chilling 5-stage descent. First, in 1968, 8 mice entered Utopia. The population exploded, passing 600 mice by day 315. It peaked at 2,200 in month 19. But then breeding collapsed. Males stopped defending territory and females abandoned their young. And in the end, the population slid all the way to 0. Paradise, with every resource available, still reached extinction. The most haunting detail is a group Calhoun called the beautiful ones. These were healthy, well-fed mice that simply withdrew from society. They stopped mating, stopped fighting, stopped interacting. They spent their days only grooming, eating, and sleeping. Perfectly beautiful, perfectly passive. Outside their quiet corners, the rest of the colony descended into chaos and violence. The beautiful ones just watched it all fall apart. And then, the final result. The population hit 0. Every single mouse died, even though there was space for thousands and food for all. No epidemic, no famine, no predator caused it. The society simply stopped reproducing and collapsed from within. It is a haunting image, an empty, perfect world, and it is why this experiment still grips us decades later. Here's why this matters to us. Calhoun never saw this as just a mouse story. He explicitly wanted to understand what might happen to humans in a crowded future. In the 1960s and 70s, architects and urban planners were debating how to build better cities, and they watched his work closely. The experiment became a cultural warning, a kind of parable about density, comfort, and collapse. That is the lens through which most people still remember it. But we should be careful before turning this into a doomsday prophecy. Critics point out real flaws. The enclosure was confined and unnatural, rodent behavior does not map directly onto human society, and later attempts to replicate the collapse often did not match. And here is the part most viral retellings leave out. Calhoun himself spent the rest of his life hunting for solutions, not just doom. Architects, urban designers, and even prison reformers used his findings to design better spaces. The useful lesson is not that we are doomed, it is that design matters. So, here is the takeaway. Universe 25 is not proof that human society is doomed to collapse. It is evidence that the environment we build shapes the behavior we get. Calhoun's real legacy is not the dead mice, it is the insight that better design can prevent collapse. When we plan cities, workplaces, and communities, we are not just arranging space, we are shaping destiny. So let's ask ourselves, what kind of environment are we building? And what behavior is it quietly rewarding? Thank you.